Hey chat, what's going on? Just another Monday. Just another Monday. My whole board, for some reason, has completely shit the bed. Right? I was playing the music. I went to go hit the start button, and then everything just went to shit. So awesome. So let me fix that real fast. I don't know what is going on. Yeah, it's not working. Nothing's working. So let me, I can't reset. So it is what it is. Let me see something real fast because I got to make sure. I need to know what the actual, let's see, starting soon, live scene. What is this? This is main chat. Okay. And then we have the main screen. Okay, cool. All right. How's everyone doing? Welcome back to another week, another episode of The Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about Borderlands 4 sales. Results were softer than expected, Take-Two says. We're going to talk about AC Shadow's delay was results of Yakuza. Yakuza? No, that's not how you... Yakuza? Whatever. The backlash from the Black Samurai inside of AC Shadows. And then we're going to talk about GTA publisher reacts to EA's $55 billion sale. If we have other stories as well. But if you guys like what I do here, Yakuza, thank you very much, Jax. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you like to go above and beyond that on YouTube, become a member as little as $5. Let me break that down for you for a second, right? Because the way YouTube is changing, and you're going to hear a lot of other content creators say this, they've completely changed. They're going towards shorts. They don't like the long-form content, okay? They don't like the long-form content, but I love the long-form content, and I always go the opposite direction of everybody else. When everybody else was doing one game, I was always doing variety. Now everyone's doing variety, okay? I've always stayed on the path of what I believe, what I want to make. So if you want to become a member, it's $5. $5, we do 20 episodes a month for the Daily Grind in the mornings, Monday through Thursday. And then we also do 4 podcasts a month for Generation X Gaming, okay? So that's 24 episodes. So you're paying less than 20 cents an episode if you become a member. So I appreciate you. You don't have to pay, but I'm just letting you know a breakdown here. 20 cents per episode for 24 episodes for the week. And then we also do uploads, and we have other content on the other channel as well, 30 and Still Gaming for gameplay. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, you can listen to our music. You can download the music. You can buy a shirt, a sticker, a mug, whatever it is. Appreciate you very much. All right, welcome over on Twitch as well. And if you're over on Twitter, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are in the world. Over on Twitch, you can hit that follow button. We're trying to get back to 5,000 followers over there. So hit that follow button over there. How's it going, chat? How's everyone? You guys have a good weekend? We have some really nice weather right now in Florida. Like right now, I think it's like 60 degrees. Maybe it's like 58 degrees. It's beautiful outside right now. What's going on, chat? Let me see who's all here. What's going on, Clips? Sarge, Travis, Big Mo, Waterbear, good morning. Roic, good morning. Jason, what's going on? Who am I missing? What's going on, Z? Jax is here. I think I already said Roic, but I'm going to say Roic again. Ray, what's going on? Who am I missing? Anybody else am I missing? Altar, what's going on? I was like, I know I'm missing somebody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's 30 degrees here. Nice. It's beautiful outside right here. Ashraf, what's going on? Good morning, good morning. All right. This weekend we went to Hollywood Studios, and we were very surprised. It was busy. We went back over there because my wife has never ridden the Star Wars Rise of Resistance ride because she gets nauseous on rides and stuff like that. So she's like, I'm going to go because my son was begging her to go on it because he went on it a couple of weeks ago and like really liked it. So we went back on Friday, and it was surprisingly busy in the parks. Usually it's not busy right now. So we went to the Rise of Resistance, and my wife was hilarious. Those of you who have been on the ride, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Those of you that have not been on the ride, you'll be a little confused. But so you go through the ride, or the line in the ride, and you're walking through like a rebel base, right? You're walking through like a rebel base. That's the queue. Then you get put into a rebel like room, and Ray pops up on the screen. She starts talking to you, saying, "Hey, we have these plans that we need to get to, the Rebel Alliance, whatever, and so we need you, to get them there safely, right?" So Poe Dameron is the one that's like escorting you in this ship. So you walk outside, which is not really outside; it's indoors, but it looks like it's outside, and that's where my wife completely lost it. She's like, "Oh," she's like, "This is nice. This must suck if it rains and stuff." I'm like, "We're indoors," and she's like, "What?" She's like, "No." Like, she didn't know because it was nighttime outside, so it was nighttime inside the thing as well. So she thought we were outside. And then when you walk onto a ship, right, you walk onto a transport, a personal transport, and there's like, 30, 40 people inside this transport. And it's really cool if you guys have never been on it. So both sides of the transport, there's like, you're on a ship, an actual ship. You see the guys piloting it, and there's a window. You see when you're fighting people, and there's a back window as well. So it's really, really cool. It's very, very interesting. So you walk onto the ship, and you start to take off. You leave the atmosphere. And then there's a fight that goes on in space. And then we get captured. My wife, I guess, didn't pay attention to this. And she's like, "What's happening?" So then you get taken in by the Star Destroyer. You dock. They open the door. And now you're on the Star Destroyer. And there's a bunch of stormtroopers. It's really cool. Okay. And she's like, "Where are we going?" I'm like, "We're going to prison. That's part of the ride." It's like, "We're going to prison." Okay. And she's like, "What?" So every character, every person that works there is in character. They're an Imperial officer working on the Super Star Destroyer. So they're bringing us to an interrogation room. And when you're in the interrogation room, then you break out, and then the ride starts. She's completely lost this entire time. Completely lost. She's like, "I don't understand what's going on." I'm like, "We are rebel spies, and we are being captured by the First Order." She's never seen the new Star Wars, so she doesn't know what the First Order is. So I have to be like, "The Stormtroopers." And she's like, "Oh, what's going to happen?" And my son's laughing. He's laughing so hard, right? It is really cool, Water. Regardless if you like Star Wars or don't like Star Wars or like where it is, the ride is actually really cool. Right? Jason says, "Oh no, in the First Order." So it's really cool, though. Then you get on the ride, and the ride goes through and stuff like that. At the end, she's like, "That was really interesting." She's like, "But I don't understand why we got captured." I'm like, my son's like, "What do you mean? We were on a ship. The tractor beam pulled us in. They said it." And she's like, I didn't pay attention. It was hilarious. She actually liked it. It's actually really good. So if you guys ever go to Hollywood Studios, I recommend going on it. It's a nice experience. It would be better. It would have been better instead of Kylo Ren and the First Order. If it was Darth Vader and the Imperial, and the Stormtroopers, it would have been 1,000 times better. But that's just old school Star Wars fan here, not new school. But it is pretty cool, right? It is pretty cool. It's sort of better experience going in blind. My wife really liked it. My son really, really liked it. He was afraid to go on it the entire time up until about like 2 months ago, because I went on it first by myself. Because my family's a fuddy-duddies. I love going on rides. So Travis says, "So your wife is basically not a nerd in any way." Got it. Yeah, no, she's not a nerd. No, not a nerd. Ray says, "Nobody cares about the sequel trilogy characters in the First Order. Only emo Kylo Ren in the fan base, the teen girls in the fan fiction." Sarge says, "Yes, a blind person would have a good time." You just explain it to the blind person. You're like, "Yes, Darth Vader's after us right now." And the stormtroopers would be like, "Oh my God, this is so cool. God, I wish I could see this." Water says, "Nobody fears the First Order. It's the Temu Darth Vader." Yeah. Unfortunately. Yeah, she doesn't really play video games. I mean, she does. She doesn't really play video games. She doesn't really know. Travis, when she talks about Star Wars, she's like, "Is that the movie with the sand people?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's the movie with the sand people." Like she has no. Lord of the Rings, no. Star Trek, no. No, none of that. So when she watches movies like that with me, I have to, watch the Hallmark movies with her. It's what it is. She is 50% correct with that statement. She is. I only watched the first two movies. First two movies of the new sequel or the first two movies of Star Wars in general? I mean, it's okay if you just watched New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Those are probably two of the best movies. So, or are you talking about episodes 1 and 2? Which I would watch at least 3, because 3 is probably one of the better Star Wars films of the whole franchise. In general, yeah, but which one? Like 4, 5, 1, 2, or 7, 8? I don't know which ones you're talking about. The first two. What's going on, Ron? Ron says, "Hear me out. Spaceballs theme park." I mean, I don't know how many attractions you would have with there. Technically, it would just be a Star Wars theme park, wouldn't it, Ron? Travis says, he only watched 2. Get out of here, chat. Get out of chat. But really, Dune. However, Dune didn't inspire Star Wars, so maybe she's a real nerd. Maybe. All right, we got a lot of stories to go over this morning. Yeah, there's 3 sets of the first 2. Yeah, which ones? I only watched episode 1 and 2. Then I canceled my Disney Plus sub. So you only watch Phantom Menace and the Clone Wars? Well, first of all, you did it wrong. You watched it out of order by watching 1 and 2. You got to watch 4 and 5, then 6, then 1, 2, and 3, and then don't ever watch 7, 8, and 9. That's the actual order you're supposed to watch it in. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, never ever watch 7, 8, 9. So, Ron says Pizza the Hut restaurant. What's going on, Robert Jones? All right, let's start off. Oh, this is not working. Right, I got to do this instead. Okay. Borderlands 4 sales results were softer than expected, says Take-Two. Okay. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Oh, that's why. My whole system is just froze. Oh, well, that's not good. That's not good, chat. Well, let me see something. Can I? Okay, I can scroll here. I can change that. All right, we're good. Right? Yeah, okay. All right, so if you like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Like I said, we do 24 episodes a month, every single month. So I'm like the London train. I'm on time and always here at 10 o'clock in the morning. All right, so Borderlands 4 sales results were softer than expected, Take-Two says. Now, remember we said that Borderlands wasn't selling well. And everyone's like, no, it's the greatest Borderlands 4 ever. I don't know why I'm pretending I'm a smoker. It's the greatest game ever. Listen to me, okay? Take-Two has been a sticky pot of late. The company faced a protest yesterday in London as former Rockstar employees unfairly dismissed were joined by union members outside of Take-Two's office in the heart of the United Kingdom, and then they announced another GTA 6 delay because the company stock value plummeted by 10%. In a recent interview with CEO Take-Two Interactive, Strauss Zelnick confirmed that Borderlands 4 had failed to meet expectations, adding another layer of woe to the Take-Two story this year. Now, obviously, if let's say we knew it was going to sell like 2.5 to 4 million copies, okay? They probably wanted to hit 7 million copies, but then realistically it hit 3 to 4 million copies, right? I don't know what the sales are. I'm just giving you an example of when they say it's below meet expectations, right? They're like, well, the last one sold 10 million copies, so this one should sell 12 million copies, and it only sold 10. They're like, it's lower than expected, right? Even though it made money, okay? So it says in a recent interview with the game business at Take-Two, Strauss Zelnick confirmed that while Borderlands 4 had a great launch, it failed to wow with sales figures, and the numbers were ultimately softer than the company would have liked. Here's the quote. The critical acclaim Borderlands 4 was superb, and we're really happy with it, okay, with the release. Equally, as you know, we were also some challenges with the Steam releasing. Gearbox also has been addressing some challenges and will continue to do so. In terms of units sold out of the gate, the numbers were also a little softer than we also would have liked. And in the fullness of time, we think it's going to do great. Okay, but if they actually made a game and they released that game where it wasn't like, I don't know, glitchy, buggy, broke, where it had problems, then they wouldn't have this issue. Remember Randy Pitchford, he was on his tirade, all right, of just one after another telling people, oh, well, why don't you go make your own game? Oh, well, this is the thing it is. We're going to put it on sale. Make sure you're a real fan. Like, he went on this whole, like, long Twitter post type of stuff where if he just shut up, I think softer than expected would have been fine. Because it wouldn't have been softer than expected because Randy Pitchford, I believe, okay, it's just my opinion, I think Randy Pitchford just shut his mouth, they would have actually hit the sales numbers that they were supposed to. I've said it in the past. I think they lost around 2 to 3 million units because of Randy Pitchford opening his mouth. Okay. Now, this means that Zelnick expected Borderlands 4 to keep selling as time goes on. Well, of course it will, because it won't be $70, $80. It'll be $60, $50, $40, $35, right? And people will buy it, and then they'll buy other stuff down the road with DLCs and whatnot. Okay. It says that the game is already slipping far down the charts in favor of other more recent titles. Okay, in recent Take-Two news, the publisher found itself in hot water over a delay of Grand Theft Auto 6, while also maybe thought it would be the case. It caused Take-Two's stock value to drop around 10%, representative of the shaken faith in investors. That's going to happen, right? I mean, people are very reactive to stuff like that. When Grand Theft Auto comes out, it's gonna shoot up through through the stratosphere. It's gonna be even if it is broke, buggy, unfinished. If it's like a Cyberpunk when it comes out, it's still gonna be the best-selling game. Pre-orders, best-selling day one, week one, month one, maybe even year one. Okay, I don't know if it'll go on to be one of the greatest games of all time of sales, but it will definitely be there day one, week one, month one, year one. The funny part is, if they just, because this statement right here, okay, where it's slipping down the charts in favor of more recent titles, there should even be more incentive, in my opinion, again, okay? Obviously, everything's in my opinion. It's my fucking channel. I say what I want, okay? You can agree or disagree, but it doesn't really matter to me, okay? We're just having conversation, okay? My thought is, if they just made the game, if they just released the game in a non-broken, buggy state, optimization's fine, everything is fine, then you wouldn't be slipping down the charts in favor of other more recent titles. But even if you did, at least people would buy your game, enjoy the game that's actually good at that moment, and then once they beat it, they move on to the next thing. What's happening now for a lot of games is games come out broke, buggy, unfinished. People play it for 20, 30, 40 hours. They didn't get the full experience. They think they do, okay, with Shadows, with Veilguard, with Outlaws, with Cyberpunk, with No Man's Sky, with all of these games that have come out, with Fallout, with Starfield, with all of these games that have come out, they're not the finished product when they actually release to you, and you're paying full price for these things. You're waiting 6, 8, 12 months for these things to get patched, fixed, okay? And then, and only then, is the game good. But at that point, the majority of the people that gave $70, $80, $90, $100, $120 for a deluxe edition, platinum edition, whatever edition, okay, you're already done playing the game and you put it down for the next thing, and you didn't get the best experience. You got the shittiest experience, and the person that comes down the line 8 months, a year from now, gets it for cheaper, gets a complete experience, and then when we have conversations like this, and I say Outlaws was a bad game when it came out, people are like, well, I don't know why everyone's giving shit to Outlaws. It's a really good game. Yeah, it's a really good game a year later once they patched it for 6 straight months and fixed all the things that were a problem with it, right? So those people don't know that it was actually a broke, buggy, unfinished game, and they're actually a better consumer because they didn't buy it day one as a broken status. They waited because maybe they didn't have time to play it. Maybe they didn't want to pay full price for it, right? And then when they do get it, they're like, this is actually a pretty good game. I don't understand why everyone hates it. Right? So here's another thing with Borderlands 4, right? Of course, it's going to keep selling. Of course, it'll be a better game 8 months from now, okay? But the fact is that the sales were lower than expected because, well, Randy Pitchford, and the game wasn't finished when the game came out. Even though you guys had fun with it, even though you're like, oh, it's a really cool Borderlands game, it was still less of experience at launch. But here's my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, let me see what you guys are talking about here. I got to refresh my other thing here real fast. Give me a second. Who knows? This might crash my system. Yeah, it looks like. Yep. Let me see if it works again. And it looks like we're okay. All right. Ray says games nowadays doesn't look better than 10-year-old games, but it does indeed need way more juice. Yeah, we're at that ceiling, I think, Ray, right? We've talked about this in the past as well. I think you've been a part of the conversation, right? Where games now, when you look at past games like from PlayStation 2 to 3 to 4, right? Now you're from 4 to 5, like you look at Ghost of Tsushima, right? And you look at Ghost of Yotei. Ghost of Tsushima is a beautiful game, so is Ghost of Yotei, right? But the fidelity, I guess you could say, right, is not that much different anymore, right? But if you look at God of War from like PlayStation 3 era to God of War PlayStation 4 era, the way they changed it and the way the graphics are, like, it's phenomenal, right? You look at it. But now we're not going any further, right? So what do they have to do to make that game better? Well, it has to be optimized and work better, right? But they don't do that. They gotta reel you in. They gotta hook you first and then kind of slowly reel you in before they throw you back into the water to go buy something else. Travis says, Dune Awakening is boring as hell. At least it captured the source correctly. Waterbear says, Borderlands 4, good game, but man, was it buggy as shit. I'll go back and play it in a couple of months. Jason says, quick, Randy, put it on sale. Mo says, I wonder why maybe someone named Randy might have fucked it up. Maybe. Ray says, good games sell nonstop for the entire year. Bad games don't sell at all, while brand only sell for a week. Didn't I just recently see, I saw an article. I don't think I put it in, maybe I did. Monster Hunter Wilds sold really good the first month. And since then, in the last 7 to 8 months, it sold like less than 500,000 units, which is horrendous because of the optimization of the stuff. Travis says, did you see the delisting another 4 games? 30? Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's like Dirt 1, Dirt 2, whatever, Rally, whatever it's called. Imagine paying full price to be a playtester. I mean, that's exactly what the industry is going. And you know what? People in this chat, including myself, have been this, right? We've been tricked and fooled. Okay, some still do it knowingly. They pay full price to be a tester, right? I try to at least tell people, look, I'm not telling you not to buy the game. I'm telling you not to buy the game at launch because the game is not done, right? The latest example is Battlefield 6. Robert Jones says they could have called the new Battlefield Botfield 6 because that's what it is. Warbear says, why? Because day one patches are a real thing that don't really resolve issues. It should have been caught early in development. They do, but that's part of the development. They do it on purpose, Water. They do it on purpose. Roic says, heck, only the last couple of weeks they fixed passives that were not working correctly. That's something they should have been right at launch. Right, but and here's my problem with stuff like that, right? So the people that are playing Battlefield 6, the people that are playing Borderlands, what's another game that came out recently that people are like grinding on? Okay, people bought it early. The game is broke, buggy, unfinished. The maps are bad for Battlefield 6. The grind's too bad. Then all of a sudden now people get it and it's easier for them. So the people that paid more money get dicked, right? Same with Borderlands. Borderlands, people that came out, they liked the game, but it was in a worse state than it is, or it was in a worse state at the beginning than it is now. And yet those people paid more money for it, grind through the whole thing, and now they fixed it, and now those people are already done. So the people that are early adopters are already done playing the game for the most part, and they moved on to the next thing. So they've never actually had the best experience with that game, ever. That's my problem. That's why all the sales numbers show. So I highly doubt it sold a lot. Monster Hunter Wilds got recently beaten by every other Capcom IP, even though they're Monster Hunter titles. All right, let me see here. I've been one. I bought Gotham Knights, played it a few hours. It kept crashing when I reached a specific level and never touched it since. I personally had a good experience with Gotham Knights, but I've had other games that did exactly that, right? I mean, we've had Starship Troopers. A year later, still having problems. Okay, Division was like that. What else was like that? Right? There was Suicide Squad. Right? There was so many games that we get day one that are broke, buggy, unfinished. Okay, and yet we're like, it's all right, right? And you move on, and you paid full price for that up front, and yet you played a little bit of it, and you're like, I'm done with it, right? Stalker 2 is finally fixed, and now it's leaving Game Pass. Yeah, it's so frustrating, right? And then you buy a game, right? You buy a game like Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, okay, which was an early access for the longest time. Not the longest time. Let's say about maybe 8 months, okay? You knew it was an early access. I think it was $7 for the game. Now they've added more stuff to it, okay? Well, more stuff in that game, more content in the game. And it's fantastic. And now it's full price, right? It's, full price for them, which I think is like $20. I think it's like $20, $25, something like that, right? Fantastic game, right? Then you look at other games. I just had a conversation with Travis this weekend about Outlaws. Outlaws, when it came out, I paid $18 for the Ubisoft Plus to try it out because I refused to pay full price for it. Okay. Played the game. I said, the gunplay's broke. The bikers broke. The sneaking's broke. Everyone's like, nah, it's great. It's fantastic. It's a great game. You're just hating on it. Yet then the company fixed the actual game. For 6 straight months, they kept fixing the game. So what that tells me is, go fuck yourself if you're a person that defended that game, because even the developers knew it was broke, hence why they fixed it. If it was perfect in your eyes, then why would they actually fix the game? Okay? But that is the crux of it, right? You have people that blindly protect, okay, these corporations and studios and devs were like, well, I like the game. And the game is good. The game is not good. Open your eyes, take away the bias, okay, and look at the game. The game is fundamentally broke. It's not working correctly. 6-8 months later, the game worked correctly. And now if you went to go buy Outlaws, it's cheaper and it's in a better condition. But the problem with that is they try to sell you something that was broke, buggy, and unfinished, and people protect them. They're like, well, I had fun. You guys are just racist and sexist because it's a girl protagonist. Go fuck yourself. That's not why people didn't like the game. They didn't like the game because the sneaking was broke, the gunplay was broke, and the biking that you went around the entire map was broke. And they knew this, hence why they fixed it. El Dente says, my Anthem experience was amazing. It would crash on the first intro boss, and I fully uninstalled it and could never get past it. Oh, that sucks. Marvel's Avengers was like that for me. Do you remember El Dente? Was it 4 years ago, 5 years ago? We were playing through the campaign. The campaign was fine. Okay. We got to the final boss. I went to go open the door for the final boss, and it crashed. And then I couldn't play the game. Couldn't finish the game. I had to wait 14 days. I think it was 14 or 15 days, okay, for them to patch the game so I could get to the last boss. And by that time, 2 weeks later, I was underwhelmed. I was just like, whatever, because I had that bad taste in my mouth now that the game was broke, buggy, and unfinished at launch. Travis says, in defense of games 30, you break it no matter what. You should, in fact, be a tester. Even the studios are shocked by you. Yeah, maybe. Jason says, "State of play tomorrow. Hope for something good." Yeah, I posted something in the morning in the news stories. I put it up there for people to read, but I'm not going to talk about it because if it's coming out tomorrow, then we'll just talk about the news that comes out from it tomorrow. Let me see here. When I mentioned Monster Hunter Wilds earlier, I didn't meant to the total copies sold. I meant that it recently figures the copies sold in comparison to Monster Hunter Wilds. Yeah, the Monster Hunter Wilds, it sold really well the first month and then hasn't sold at all basically for the rest of the year. Ray says Redfall is an amazing game and I love it, but doesn't mean anything if it came out broke. Another example, Redfall, the NPCs didn't even acknowledge that you were there when you shined a light at them. Right? Hit detection was bad. Like, there was nobody on the map at some times, right? Redfall was terrible. Now, a year and a half, 2 years later, Redfall could be an amazing game. But most people won't give it a shot because it was broke, buggy, and unfinished, and people talked about it and said, it's a shit game because it was a shit game when it came out, right? So nobody's going to give it a shot. It just goes on to the trash can. It's like, whatever. Right? What have you done for me lately? Water Bear says, oh my God, Marvel's Avengers. Yeah, it's so bad. I love it. I love it, Water. But goddamn, it's terrible. Yeah, we've moved on, Sarge. We've moved on. What's going on, Titan? Oh, you know what I had to talk about? I wanted to talk about this. Let me open this up. Let me go back to the stories. I said I wanted to talk about it on Monday. We'll do it after the 3 stories. So Quintar was here last week and talked about how Steam came out in 2005 or whatever. And I was like, well, Valve was first and then Steam, and it was only the Steam games or only Valve games on their platform. But Steam didn't turn into what Steam is today until 2012. And there was an actual story. There was actual story that I wanted to talk about because there was a history. Yeah, here it is. This was an actual story so we'll talk about that a little bit later today. All right. So we'll go over, it was the 19 years of, because I like learning, right? Right. Because I was new information, but I didn't know all the information. Right. So Quintar hit something in my head and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go look that up. Right. So I found it and now I want to learn. I want to learn about it. So we'll read it a little bit later. The next story. All right, the next story I want to talk about is AC Shadows delay was a result. Yakuza, right? That's how you guys told me to pronounce it, okay? And the Backlash, okay, because of Backlash. Now remember when they said they delayed it? They delayed it and it wasn't because of the Black Samurai? Yasuke. Oh God, that's. Say it again. Who put? Jax broke it down for me earlier. Yasuke. See, I'm okay. I'm terrible at pronouncing stuff, which is, it is what it is. It's live on air. I suck at reading some words. Okay, so Yasuke. All right. That, remember I had problems selling when I used to say Thor's Mjolnir. See, I still can't. Mjolnir, right? I can't say the hammer's name, right? Yasuke. Okay, so Yasuke's Backlash. Remember when they told us it wasn't because of that? And I said it's 100% of the backlash that's happening because of Yasuke. Okay? Remember that? They said it. They were like, nah, it's not because of that. We have to work on the game and fix the game. Sure. Okay. So let's read this. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you'd like to go above and beyond that. Become a member as little as $5. Robert Jones says, it's okay, 30. I can't say specific. Yeah, there's always thing. There's always. My dad has problems saying Okeechobee. We have a place here called Okeechobee. He can't say it. He says I can't even say how he says it. I'm not making fun of him. I can't even say how he says it. He says Okapachobi or something like that. He said he puts like extra stuff in there, right? I totally understand. Say the word recycling bin. Recycling bin. Okay. Did I pass? Roadkill? What's going on, Roadkill? Okay. So AC Shadow delay was a result. Oh, here we go again. Yasuke backlash. Okay. So Ubisoft's boss, Guillemot, okay, has openly addressed the intense backlash towards the open world samurai ninja adventure Assassin's Creed Shadows, claiming that the shift from gameplay to ideology, okay, was responsible for its delay from November 15th, 2024 to February 14th of 2025. Isn't that strange how it wasn't that reason? And then magically 1 year later, it is the reason? According to a November 5 game file report, Guillemot showed a video in the Audience Games Industry Insider during the first day of the Paris Games Week, which ran from October 30th to November 2nd at the Paris Expo port. Okay, the video was 184 seconds long, professionally narrated, and detailed Ubisoft response to the virtual of the company's faced. It says, quote, "What happened when the legendary franchise reveals one of the most anticipated experiences, only to become the game everyone loves to hate? The narrator asked at the start of the video, when conversation shifts from gameplay to ideology, when everything that you say only adds fuel to the fire, and when the voice you thought you were actually turned against you." The video narrator describes the Ubisoft experience after it revealed Shadows in 2024, and the combat and the company had also stopped focusing on those who hated us and started firing up on the allies. Doing that meant one thing. According to the narrator, Ubisoft had to lean in to the Assassin's Creed brand. He says, quote, "We started by doing the last thing anyone would have advised. We delayed the game," and narrator continued. "The extra time allowed the devs to polish, optimize, and reach the high standards of fans expected from the Assassin's Creed game." Let me break this down real fast because I hate that. I hate, okay, because they talk about we delayed the game, the narrator continued. The extra time was allowed to devs to polish, optimize, and reach high standards. Remember, they were going to release a broken, buggy, unfinished game for you to pay full price or to get it for $18 on their Ubisoft Plus service. Okay? They're saying it out loud, chat. They're saying it out loud. We're delaying the game to give us extra time to allow the devs to polish, optimize. They were going to release it. They stopped it, 1 week before? They're like, oh no, we need more time. It also gave us time to rebuild the Assassin's Creed brand. Okay, putting the markers on the franchise back to the center. More hood, more stealth, more leap, more hood, more stealth, more leap of faith, more lore. So we could show the spirit of the Assassin's Creed lives in Shadows. They literally tried to. They were marketing something that wasn't supposed to be marketed. Just make an Assassin's Creed game. We have a lot of different mottos on this channel, or sayings, right? We have make a game, sell a game. We got stop buying broken, buggy games. Okay. Broke, buggy, unfinished games. Don't pay full price. Okay? This is what Assassin's Creed is, right? They didn't make a game to sell a game. They were trying to bait you and making you feel bad and calling you a racist because you didn't like a game, okay? The video lathers on the corporate speak of the rest of the runtime. According to the transcript in the November 5th game file report, the narrator says that by showing the game and letting the experience speak for itself, Ubisoft won fans back. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? If you just showed gameplay, just show gameplay. But you also were like lathering us up and told us that you put the ghetto music in there when a samurai period piece, there was no rap back then and stuff like that. And they're like, we're going to make the most traditional, really realistic Assassin's game ever. Right? But yet, they did what they did, and people called them out, and they're like, well, you guys are racist. You guys are sexist. They could have just made the game. They could have just sold the game. So the narrator said, by showing the game, letting the experience speak for itself, Ubisoft won fans back, shifted the conversation, and found the confidence to stand tall, to take risks, to speak up, and even against the loudest haters. There's no explicit mention